Hey YouTube, I am here again to talk about things going on in the world around us. I don't know why it's making me rotate. I want to go 69. It won't let me. That's annoying. I'm sorry guys. It's forcing you guys to look at me with this stupid ratio, which has nothing to do with video, but with phones. But anyways, I'm walking around work because I had to really just blow off some steam regarding this one. I actually got blocked from a Facebook group which is portrayed as one that is supposed to be a place for open dialogue. It's actually called Super Politically Incorrect. In order to join the group, I even had to take a test asking me questions like, what do you think of President Trump and all that. I made it in the group, had a few discussions with people. Full disclosure, this was the group where people were totally bashing gay people, saying, I guess if you're gay, you're gonna end up in hell. And I'm like, that's okay. You're okay to say that, but not what I said and not what I posted. So just to kind of explain why I got kicked out of the group, there is a video where someone did some forensic investigation on the Las Vegas shooting, and what they did was watched the video with and uploaded some video to downloaded the video, watched it, and looked at it using nonlinear video editing software. And they looked at the wavelength of the sounds of the bullet ricochets next to the sounds of the echo of the gun, because a bullet will always arrive before the sound of the gun. And they paired this up next to sound of other gunfire, which sounded different. And there's been a lot of people speculating over there being multiple guns, multiple shooters, and regardless of whatever you believe, this guy did the investigation, did the measurement of sound of the ricochet versus the sound of the gun. He found that one of the guns that does sound different, sounds like it's coming from a different place, was at least twice as close as another shooter, or the other gun sound. And he measured the distance from the sound of the ricochet to the sound of the gunfire, and he found it was twice as close. The Mandalay Bay was about 500 meters from the concert, which is very, very far for any rifle to shoot. I know people say, well, rifles have a range of like 1,100 meters. Have you ever looked 1,100 meters? You can't even see the target without binoculars. And that's obviously twice as far as 500 meters. But he measured and he found that the second shooter, by these measurements, was about 250 yards away, which is, as we mentioned, twice as close as the Mandalay Bay. So he also looked at an overhead map and did some measurements and found that 250 meters was right outside the concert venue. And he actually did this investigation and made this public video and basically stated, like, I'm not saying that like it's a government cover-up or whatever, but I'm trying to help the FBI. Like, I did this acoustic measurement of sound, and it's showing there's a second shooter, and I drew this on the map of this radius of 250 meters and showing that it's right outside the concert venue. So if you want to me to help you with this investigation, I totally will. Anyways, video's about half an hour long. After I'm done with live, I get back onto my channel and I'll post it in the link below. So I posted in this discussion group, and I was basically like, okay guys, so what do you guys think of this? Like, trying to open a discussion. And the admin chimed in within 2 minutes of me posting it. He's like, why do you gotta post this fake news? And I'm like, it's not news, it's just some guy analyzing sound and talking about, like, things don't add up. Why don't you want to have a discussion about that? And he was like, okay, well, you're blocked. I'm like, well, shit, okay. This page, which is mainly for what it seems to be conservatives, you're in this page, you're allowed to openly bash. I'm gonna U-turn here because I'm getting to an intersection to get loud. This page, you're allowed to openly bash gay people, but and say like, oh, you're all going to hell, and that's okay to say that for a stream of like hundreds and hundreds of comments of assholes saying that, but you're not allowed to have a decent discussion on like why things don't necessarily add up about the current narrative of the Las Vegas shooting. And it just fascinates me. Why is it that people can have an open dialogue with hate, but they can't have a discussion around things like forensic evidence and sound and how things carry? And again, that's not even saying like, okay, we believe the FBI did it, or we believe ISIS did it, or even saying like, we don't think the shooter worked alone, which I personally don't think he worked alone. If he worked alone, like, how could he have gotten another gun shooting twice as close as he is, right outside the concert venue? But the point being, like, things, I know I'm kind of rambling at this point because there's just so much going on in my head. Like that crow being so annoying. There's a lot of crows out here. But just to repeat myself, I'm not even presenting a conspiracy theory. I'm just trying to start an open dialogue as to why I think things don't necessarily add up. And that's enough to get me kicked off of a group. And enough to, honestly, this month so far, as in the past couple weeks even, I've blocked more people on Facebook than I ever have in my entire life. Before this year, I've only blocked a couple people. That was a Prius, what the heck? I've only blocked a couple people. People who have tried to stalk me. I've blocked people who have obviously done terrible things in my life to me and my family and the people I love. But now I've had to block people for totally spamming my page on Facebook, trolling every post I make, and commenting, calling me a conspiracy theorist, tinfoil hat wearer for not believing the current narrative at Las Vegas. And I'm like, of course I don't believe it, because this one person got 500 pounds of guns and ammo into his room and took off an 800-pound windshield by himself. And I'm not saying the government did it. I'm just saying I don't think he worked alone. And for me, simply to say that is enough to get me kicked off of a Facebook group is absurd. And yes, I have blocked people for trolling and spamming my page for these past few weeks because they're like, you're perpetuating lies. it doesn't match up with the news. The news only tells the truth. Like, no, the news only reports with what information has been released. I have worked in television in fields related to journalism as well for like the past 10 years. I do know what I'm talking about when it comes to media presentation, and I do understand that the news is just a gathering and redistributing. Television news is just gathering and redistributing information. Journalism is dead for the most part in television. Investigative journalism hardly happens anymore in TV, especially regarding 24-hour news cycles like CNN, MSNBC, Fox. They're not investigating because their responsibility is just present information, and that information they are presenting isn't like it has to get out quick, so you don't even have time to investigate. So of course all the information they're presenting is just what they get from the police, and the police right now are investigating. Actually, no, that's not true. The police have been embargoed from this investigation. The FBI are investigating, and of course the FBI is under has no responsibility to present information to the public, especially when they're trying to collect information. They present information to the public, and news cameras get around everywhere. They muddy up crime scenes, so they're not gonna always be presenting information, especially within a week of a mass shooting which killed almost 60 people. And people who have this dramatic obsession with television news tend to think like, oh, well, what they're presenting is absolute truth, and anyone who questions that is presenting tinfoil hat conspiracy theories is absurd. And we live in such a weird time where there is such a big chunk of the population who takes television news as cardinal truths, when there's so many people out there who are thinking about things that happen, who are presenting information like this guy who did the forensic analysis of the audio in the videos, and he did math, and makes sense. Anyways, again, after I finish this live production, once it's finished processing, I'll put the link in the description below, and you can watch that and decide for yourself. Otherwise, you can be like everyone else and either get it from the television news, or you start thinking for yourself. There was a lot of breath because I'm walking and tired and work and everything. That's it for me. Hope you guys are having a good one. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Sorry for this aspect ratio. I really wanted it to be better for you guys, but YouTube's annoying. That's it for me. Catch you guys later.